Hello everyone, welcome back to our economic survey analysis. Today in this discussion we are going to take two chapters, both are related to similar topic, that is what we call employment, skill development and labor as per the economic survey. That is chapter 12 deals with employment and skill development and chapter 13 deals with labor. Chapter 13 mostly deals with the artificial intelligence era. What is the scenario for laborers? That is the topic they have discussed mostly. Okay, now this topic is what we can say mostly theoretical, okay, and analytical. They are trying to study a lot of technical parts, but exam point of view, what is important, relevant, that part I have taken, and we are going to discuss that much. Okay, so now the first thing, the economic survey talks about India ka economic growth in the last 10 years. How the economy has performed, say for example in the last 10 years from 2014 till 2024. So economic survey kya batata hai? If you look at it carefully here, in 2014, that is 10 years ago, India was ranked 10th largest economy in the world. That means we were at a number 10 largest economy in the world. India was holding a position of the 10th position. The same thing changed within a decade. Say by 2024, India came to 4th position. That means from being 10th largest, we have come to 4th largest economy, right? Now what is being predicted, say by 2030, another 4-5 years, India will become the 3rd largest economy. First will be US, second will be China, and the 3rd largest economy in this world is going to be India. Now in this context, India going to be the 3rd largest economy. The government is analyzing population, which is basically what we call the labor force for employment, and that employment will in a way generate GDP. Samajh mein aa gaya? So that is the background in which the government tries to discuss this part. Now based on this, what is the analysis of the population the government is trying to give? So if you look at here, government says at present in India we have about 26% of population. Means we have 26% of population in India right now, which is in the age group of 10 to 24. That means very young age group. The 10 year will soon become another say 4-5 year. They will become 14-15 year. Then they will start looking for a job. And those who are 24 now, right, they will be say 30 working in the adult age, contributing to GDP growth. That means what? We have a huge population. That means 26% of our 140 crore. It's a massive number. 26% is more than, we can say, about 30 crore people will be in this age group. So now what happened? The economic survey talked about demographic opportunity. That is what we say, the demographic dividend. What is the demographic dividend? When in the population we have more percentage of young people, that is labor force. We don't take 10 to 24. Normally we take the population of 15 to say 45-50. That is the labor force population. If that population is more in the total population, they will contribute to GDP growth, and so the economy will grow. That is the advantage of young population. That advantage is called dividend, and this is because related to population, it is called demographic dividend. Clear? So now this demographic dividend opportunity is very much present in India. Therefore I put this symbolic image of young people, that is the 26% of our population. Now interesting part, the government is analyzed in the demographic dividend. What is the median age of our Indian young population? We say that we are a lot of young people are there, but what is the median age? that average, we take mean, median, mode. So what is the median age, that is the average age of Indian? It is be found to be 28 years according to economic survey. The median age of our population is 28 years, which is a very good age. 28 is when people are very young and fit, also we can say mature emotionally, they are ready to take up lot of responsibility and work. That's a good sign, so that there is a lot of opportunity for India to contribute to GDP growth, and so we can become the third largest economy by 2030. That is the analysis. And so the government has presented here another important thing. So if you look at here, one side they have presented IMR. What is IMR? IMR is the infant mortality rate. That means if there are 1000 children born, how many children die? Like infancy, 0 to 1 year, that is called infant mortality rate. Now the death of children has gone down from 44 in 2011, it has gone down to 28 in 2020. Well, after 2020, we don't have this data, neither MMR nor IMR. So economic survey also keeps it to only 2020. Very interesting, last 4 years they have not published this data. Okay, anyway, now same time, if you look at life expectancy, what is the life expectancy? How many years a child born, say in India, is expected to survive given the present conditions, right? So the life expectancy has improved from 66.5, it has come gradually to 70 years. It is actually 69.4 in some official report. They have rounded up to 70 years. That is perfectly okay. So we are saying 70 years is our life expectancy, but 70 is still not very old compared to Japan, where we have 80, 85, 90, 100. So in India, our population is still, by and large, a young population. Therefore, there is a possibility of demographic dividend, which will push our GDP growth. That is the basic analysis given here. Now, for our demographic dividend to achieve, or for India to become third largest economy, everybody has to get job. People are there, unless they work, they cannot contribute to GDP. So the whole question is, how will they get the job, right? So that is where we are talking now about employment. So economic survey क्या बोलता है analysis में? If we have to provide a job to everybody, what is the requirement? The previous economic survey, that is the last year one, 2023-24, उस economic survey में उन्होंने क्या बोला था 23-24 में, that on an average every year annually India में हमें क्या करना चाहिए? We have to create 78 lakh jobs which are non-farm, that means other than agriculture. Because creating more job in agriculture means again they are back to agriculture. So the economic survey clearly says that we have to create non-farm jobs annually. How much every year? 78 lakh. This has to be done till 2030. Matlab next 6 years we have to create what we can say every year about 78 lakh or 80 lakhs, right? So if every year we can create say 1 crore job, say in the next 6 years, so that by 2030 we would be creating another 5 or 10 crore extra job, then there is a possibility of a huge economic growth and reaching the third position in the world. Okay, so now related to that, we are now talking about how is the employment scenario in India. Now some important things for prelims preparation. Normally India का जो employment unemployment का जो statistics मिलता है, वो हमें कहाँ से मिलता है? From where do we get the statistics? So there we have a periodic labor force survey. The periodic labor force survey is the official document which provides the data about employment and unemployment in India. Now this you remember for prelims point of view. It is published by the same one, that is the National Statistical Organization, office today. Now what does this data say? According to this data, unemployment, which was rather high, around about 6% in 2017-18, it came down to half of that, that is 3.2% by 2023-24. Clear? So what is the government trying to say is that employment opportunities are increasing. That means unemployment is reducing in India. That is the data that is given here for the last, say, 5 years, right? From 2017-18 till 2023-24. Okay. So now if you look at this diagram, which is given by economic survey, this one not very relevant for us to keep that memorizing all this. This is the labor force participation rate. This is the worker participation rate. Our important thing is here, unemployment rate. So look at the unemployment rate, which is important, what the government is talking about. Unemployment in 2017-18 was 6.0%, that means 6%. It has gradually come down to 3.2% in 2023-24. Okay, so that basically shows that India the problem of unemployment has been dealt with by the government. Even our Assam government, CM says that is planning to, last 1-2 years it is going on, 1 lakh job creation ka promise fulfillment, right? Same way, central government also saying that unemployment is reducing. Now the question is, if unemployment is reducing, from where the job is coming? Because not much job is created by government, not much also generated by private sector. So very interesting analysis also found in economic survey. What is that? The interesting survey is this one. Government ने क्या बोला है economic survey में? Now many people are becoming what do we call self-employed. This is very interesting. Now more and more people, instead of depending on government to create the job for them, they are becoming self-employed. Okay, it has risen from 52.2% in 17-18 to 58% in 2023-24. That means the number of self-employed people is increasing. Maybe as a result, unemployment is also reducing, right? That is a possibility. The second one, it shows that this shift also is showing what? That many people are now becoming entrepreneurs by themselves because they are preferring to have a flexible work. So they would like to have their own job created rather than working for somebody else. Clear? So this is the very interesting analysis. So today most people are moving towards this part, self-employment rather than waiting for employment. So the percentage is slowly increasing. Same analysis economic survey data hai about what we call the rural women. Now if you look at the rural women, they have a lot of what we can say skill development, which is also same economic survey ka topic. Because of the skill development, वो लोग भी क्या करते हैं, अपना अपना self employment generate कर रहे हैं. So look at the data here, very interesting. Among the rural women, okay, this own account worker, what we call self-employed people, it increased from 19% in 2017-18 to a huge figure 31% by 2023-24. That means even in rural India, now most people are moving towards what we can say self-employed rural women. This is very interesting, and we can say that now people are trying to create their own employment opportunities rather than waiting for getting a job. Okay, same thing also applies to urban. So if you look at the urban women for the same period 2017-18 to 23, there is a shift from 23%, depending earlier on what we can say, only doing self-employment. Now 23, it has become 28%. That means what? Most of the people today are moving towards self-employment. Now this analysis basically for women, okay, who are otherwise not able to find job. Government says that now most of these women are also becoming entrepreneurs or self-employed people. This is therefore, it's a very positive note. Okay, lot of self-employment confidence is coming in India gradually. Now what is the government initiative for women ka entrepreneurship? That means for women to start a new business, what has the government done? Because a lot of women are going into self-employment. So government ka report also says we have done lot of initiatives. As a result, they have taken up self-employment. Like for example, formalization of enterprises, like the MSME which were informal, they were begin to make formal from January 2023. Like 63% of these enterprises formalized are basically owned by women, right? That is the another data. Second one, marketing support is given to marketing of goods for women. Then Pradhan Mantri Employment Guarantee Program, also 41% of loans were sanctioned to women. Then if an MSME is run by women, the central government ka companies have to purchase 3% of their requirement from the women run MSME. Okay, that's a requirement. Then skill development, 21,600 women were trained in manufacturing in the last 5 years. Then if a woman is trying to apply for this 𝘕𝘰𝘷 certification, 100% subsidy is given for that. So now the point is, government ko kya bolna hai? They are running a lot of programs and schemes for promoting women entrepreneurship. Okay, so this kind of topic आपको एग्जाम में मेंस में आ भी सकता है from the economic survey का analysis. Like women are now becoming more and more self-employed, critically review, right? So be prepared for such a thing. Also, if you see, there is a startup business के लिए support provided for women. Okay, so we have a Stand Up India program. Now government has announced a new in this budget. First time women entrepreneur, for them also they are providing money. That is the women entrepreneurship platform, right? Then food processing, okay, self-help group members receive 40,000 for seed capital. No, there are so many such programs have been announced by government. Now these schemes you have to be familiar also from the prelims point of view. Okay, because these are the schemes which are basically targeting women development, right? Now such schemes exam में आने का chances भी होते हैं. So what I say is that you have a look at these schemes once, go through some little details also. It will be useful for the exam preparation. Okay, so now these are some of the schemes which have been initiated by government towards the women ka entrepreneurship. Now look at the employment. Which type of industries are generating employment? Large industries or small industry? But if you look at generally they say MSME is a labor intensive, that provides more intensive, what we can say, a lot of jobs to the people. In Assam also mostly all our industries are MSME. But economic survey, the report says that the large industries which employ more than 100 workers, they are the ones who are providing maximum percentage to the employed people. So if you see, large factories are those which generally employ more than 100 workers. Okay, they are generally considered to be large factory. Now in terms of the share of employment, the large factories continue to employ about 80% of the total worker. This is very interesting data. That means 80% of the workers are basically engaged in factories which are large factories in nature. Okay. Now what type of industry, factories where people are getting employment, that also breakup is given. It may not be asked in exam, but it's good to have an analysis. Like this is the total persons employed, TPE means total person employed. So if the comparison is given 23 and 2020, right? So if you see from 2020 to 23, what is the difference? So in the food processing, food products industry, it has increased. Textile, there's a little reduction. Okay, basic metal increase is there. Okay, wearing apparel, there's a little reduction. Motor vehicle increase is there. Okay, machinery, it's also improvement is there. So these are what we can say the major industry where employment is generated for the workers. Okay, that is one analysis given in the economic survey. Now talking about the labor, government has mentioned about 4 labor laws for the welfare of the laborers. They have what we can say notified in India. Now prelims point of view, this can be asked. So I just mentioned this 4 what we can say laws announced by the government. First one is called Code on Wages. Second one is called Code on Social Security. This I also discussed in the class. This is called the Industrial Relations Code. And the fourth one is called Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code 2020. Now these codes have been notified by the government. The Code on Wages was notified in August 2019. The remaining ones were notified in September 2020. Okay. So now exam point of view, remember these are the 4 codes related to labor. Now these codes have been created from 29 existing central government various laws. They have been combined and made it into 4 codes. Okay, that's the idea of a code. What is the meaning of a code? Code is a collection of various laws. Okay, so a code therefore is taken from different laws which were existing and they were replaced by a new collection. The collection is called code. Okay. Now coming to the skill development part, what does the economic survey say? It, if you read the economic survey in detail, you realize that not many people are going for skill development. That's the highlight the economic survey is trying to give. Now the statistics also, they have provided a lot of analysis. It basically shows that people are not preferring to go for skill development training. They are ready to do graduation, master's general degree. After that they want a job. That is where it's becoming difficult to job generation. So now if you look at the detail here, primary education or 10 years of education or informal education, that is the level of workers 52%. Okay. And secondary education or 11 to 13 years of education only 37%. So now if you look at further, graduation only 7%. Okay, postgraduate only 2.2. This is the percentage share of workers who have got qualification, that is the educational level of workers, right? So it shows that most of them are not qualified, skilled is not there, right? For example, if you read here, the periodic labor force shows that 90% of the workforce has equivalent or less than a secondary level of education. That means what? They are not even properly educated. So they are basically unskilled workers, right? Here if you see occupational level of workers, okay, so 88.2. So if you read here, the educational skill composition as a result leads to most of the workforce being involved in low occupancy. That means low job where you don't require skill. So most of them are in such jobs where you don't require basic skills also, right? So 88% are in this one, where requiring elementary skill, semi-skill. Therefore what happens? Their income level also remains low. Understand? Whereas specialized skills are only 9%, high competency skills only 2% people are there, workers are there. So what is the scenario that has been created? People are not really going for skill development or training, even education for that matter. And so jobs also, if you see, skilled jobs are taken by very few percentage, hardly 11%. So 88% are either in elementary skill related jobs, yeah, they are in semi-skilled related jobs. Okay, so that is where this has become a challenge also for people to have a skill development to get employment. Okay, so now if you see, this shows that what is the status of training, vocational training in India. 65%, what you see here, 65% they did not receive any training at all. Right? That means they were not interested going for any training, just they want some job. Hereditary, that means got some training from the family ka business, family ka activity, whatever. Hereditary, we have 11.6. Learning on the job, like once you take the job and keep learning about it, that is in training 9%. Self-learning, we have done 7.1%. Received proper training only 4%. You see, that is the, what we can say, very small percentage of the workers are going first for training to take up a job. You know, that is the issue. Okay. So this is not a very good thing, but this is the problem in India when we talk about skill development. Now, government somehow has been promoting skill development so that people will have more and more skill to get a job. So we have a Skill India mission going on in India. Now what the government is trying to say, though people are not getting ready for training, government is trying to provide the training like a craftsman training scheme at industrial training institutes. 1.2 crore persons enrolled for long-term training. Okay, this is the popular one. Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Be familiar with these names of these schemes. Okay, because exam may this can be asked in prelims. Okay, then Jana Shikshan Sansthan, that is the JSS. There is a school kind of a certified education also. The recent one, PM Vishwakarma, announced very recently. Then National Council for Vocational Education and Training. Now these are all what we can say various training programs which has been provided by government, where they have given statistics. Statistical, you don't have to make up all this. Usko memorize karke kuch fayda nahi hoga. Remember the name of the schemes which are running for the skill development. So mains may, if you have to write answer, you have to remember the schemes to mention there. Okay. Now these are all what we can say schemes announced by the government. Here basically they have given the total, how many have registered and etc. Those things you won't be able to remember for exam. Okay. Now the point is, in India this focus has come that if you want to get a job, you have to go for skill development and training. If you are not going for skill development training, getting a job is going to be very difficult. Now, the central government very recently, budget 24-25, last year, they announced what we call a new scheme for internship. It is called the Pradhan Mantri Internship Scheme. Okay, so they are providing a training in 500 top companies to about 1 crore youth for 5-year period, started from last year October. Okay, now this scheme, okay, it provides training in 24 sectors like oil, gas, energy, travel, hospitality, banking, financial service, etc., etc. Now such a scheme definitely will benefit 1 crore people. It's a huge number to provide training. So government has been consistently trying to provide what we can say skill development to labor force. So the economic survey also highlights the need for skill development. Okay, the skill development is still very low comparatively. The economic survey chapter, the last chapter, talks about labor and artificial intelligence. Now they are talking about responsible artificial intelligence, the problems, whatever is going to happen, etc. Now, what is the main thing, what has been discussed by the people, what is the fear? According to the International Labour Organization ka some estimate, in future, because of artificial intelligence, it is maybe in future people will lose lot of jobs, right? It is a threat scenario. So if you see here, they estimate about 75 million jobs being at risk. That means people may not get this job. 75 million jobs may not be coming. They are at risk according to ILO, International Labour Organization. The similar study also shows, like for example in UK, 7% of the existing UK jobs will face a risk, and in the 10-year time, that 7% might become 18%. So when you go and apply for a job, you might find artificial intelligence a robo being given that job, and you are not given that job. Like basic works which are done by human beings are expected to be now completed by artificial intelligence. Now what is the point? The point is, even in a developed country, the jobs performed by people are slowly going to be automated, matlab taken over by artificial intelligence, right? Now coming to India, what is our situation? So now in India also, this fear of losing job is very high. Okay, so mostly why? Because our Indian economy is basically dominated by service sector. Because agriculture, as I discussed, economic survey contributes only 16%. Industry about 30%, you can say, or less than 30. The maximum bulk of the contribution to GDP comes from where? Service sector. Now the point is, service sector ka most of the jobs like can be performed by artificial intelligence. So they might soon pack the worker and tell them, go home, your job is now gone, we don't need you anymore. So what is happening in India? The risk is that 68% of the people who are surveyed, the workers, they said that their jobs may be automated by artificial intelligence in the next 5 years. That means what? Down the line, 5 year 2030, we are talking about India becoming third economic power, isn't it? But by the time, possibilities are there, because of artificial intelligence, people might lose jobs. So there is the big question mark. 2030, how are we going to become third largest economy if people are going to lose the jobs? Right? That is the interesting thing. Also, they are trying to look into it. So that is the point I try to put here. Now try to understand. Suppose you lose your job and your job is taken by a robot, or what we call artificial intelligence. Now the question is, you don't have a job, then how will you purchase things? Will you have money? Will you have income? So the question is, समझ लो हमारे पास पैसा नहीं है, समझ लो हमारे पास कुछ इनकम नहीं है, हम कहाँ कैसा कुछ खरीदेंगे? What about demand created by us? When I have a job, I have income, I'll go to market, I might buy clothes, I might watch a movie, I might eat ice cream, or I might even visit a tourism spot. If I no money, I will stop watching movie in theater, I will stop wearing new clothes, I will wear the old clothes, I will stay, no need to go to visit tourism, there is no money to eat also, right? That means what? Tourism, that particular area where tourists are visiting, that will shut down. Textile industry will shut down. Theater will shut down. Now in लोग का पास कौन जाएगा? That is the issue. Okay. So if you look at here, our economy is also consumption economy. But if there is no job, workforce is losing job, right? There will be fall in consumption. If there is a fall in consumption, no demand in the market, which company is going to produce them? So there is a possibility you can have a economic recession possible. Therefore, by 2030 we are saying that we will become superpower, matlab economic power, third in the world. But if artificial intelligence is going to take all the jobs of the people, then people cannot create any more demand, right? Production of basic necessities will suffer. matlab they will produce, there won't be any buyer. That will create a economic crisis. That is the final point here. If the worst case projection materializes, what will happen? It could affect our GDP growth. So problem will be supply might go on, but demand will not come. So demand becomes weak, then automatically supply will be greater than demand. So economy is going to suffer. Understand? So now this economic survey analysis, therefore, that is the employment, skill development and labor. I combined the two chapters together. It's a very interesting analysis they have given. So in short, what we can say, employment opportunities are increasing, unemployment has reduced, and mostly now people are becoming self-employed also. And skill development is necessary, because if you see the statistics what we discussed, very few people are with good skills are in the skill job. Most of them are in semi-skilled, they are elementary skill job only, 88%, right? In terms of labor, government is trying to protect the labor by labor codes, right? But at the same time, artificial intelligence is becoming a new threat for labor. That is the discussion in economic survey. Fine. So for any further query, if you want to contact us, you contact the following number: 8638391721, 8638391721. For any further query or any further inquiry about any admission related, your notes related, or any further course related information you want, you can contact Bhadra IAS Academy on this number for all your queries. Now we will be coming with more and more videos and analysis. As I promised already, I will be giving out multiple choice questions on both budget as well as the economic survey. So till then, you keep following the videos and prepare for your exams. All the best for your exam preparation. Thank you.